The Vorthok Armada had conquered 47 star systems in 3 cycles. Their flagship, the Eternal Dominion, hung in the void like a steel monument to inevitable victory. Fleet Commander Zarketh stood on the observation deck, 6 eyes fixed on the small blue world that would be their 48th conquest. "The humans have acknowledged our transmission," his communications officer reported, mandibles clicking nervously. "Of course they have," Zarketh rumbled. "They always do. Fear is universal." The holographic display flickered to life and a human appeared. A female, if Zarketh's intelligence was correct. She wore a simple gray uniform with stars on the collar. Her face was unremarkable. Smooth skin, 2 eyes, no visible weaponry or intimidation features. She looked almost fragile. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Command," she said calmly. "We've received your ultimatum." Zarketh activated his translation matrix and leaned forward, savoring this moment as he always did. "Then you understand the situation. Your world has been selected for integration into the Vorthok Collective. You have 1 rotation to surrender your weapons, your resources, and your autonomy. Compliance will be rewarded with survival. Resistance will be met with obliteration." The human's expression didn't change. No trembling. No pleading, no anger. Just that same calm, almost curious look. "Commander Zarketh," she said, pronouncing his name with surprising accuracy. "Before we respond, I'd like to clarify something. You've conquered 47 systems. Correct?" Zarketh's chest swelled with pride. 47 worlds kneel before the collective. Yours will be the 48th. "And in those 47 conquests," Admiral Chen continued, "how many of those species had actually developed faster than light travel on their own?" The question caught Zarketh off guard. "What relevance—" "Humor me," she interrupted. Zarketh's tactical officer quickly consulted the database. 17, Commander. The others were pre-FTL civilizations. Admiral Chen nodded slowly. 17. And of those 17, how many had achieved FTL within the last century of their development? Another pause. 4, Commander. 4, Chen repeated. She leaned forward slightly. "Commander Zarketh, humanity achieved faster than light travel 43 years ago. We went from our first powered flight to breaking the light barrier in just 240 years. Our first AI achieved consciousness 18 years ago. Our first quantum Ansible came online 6 years ago. We went from bronze tools to splitting atoms in less than 6,000 years. She paused. "Does that seem fast to you?" Zarketh felt an unfamiliar prickle along his spine. "Your point, human?" "My point," Admiral Chen said, her voice still perfectly calm, "is that you should probably ask yourself why a species that advances this rapidly has been broadcasting its location into space for over a century, but hasn't been invaded until now." The observation deck fell silent. "Is it because we're weak?" Chen continued. "Is it because we're isolated? Or is it because every other spacefaring civilization that's detected us has decided that first contact with humanity should be cautious?" Zarketh's tactical officer was frantically working his console. "Commander, I'm detecting multiple energy signatures appearing throughout the system. They weren't there a moment ago." "What kind of signatures?" Zarketh demanded. "Unknown, sir. They're not reading as ships. They're not reading as weapons platforms. They're just there, hundreds of them. No, thousands. The officer's voice cracked. "They're everywhere." Admiral Chen smiled then. It wasn't cruel or mocking. It was almost apologetic. "Commander, humanity didn't survive by being the strongest or the fastest or the most advanced. We survived because we're creative, adaptable, and frankly a little bit insane. We're the species that looked at splitting atoms and said, 'Let's build a bomb.' We're the species that turned our own planetary network into a weapon during our cyber wars. We're the species that, when we invented AI, immediately started teaching it military tactics." The lights on the observation deck flickered. "What you're detecting," Chen continued, "are quantum-entangled particle clouds. We've spent the last 6 years seeding them throughout our system. Each cloud is connected to a 0-point energy tap in the Kuiper belt. With one signal, we can turn your entire fleet into free-floating atoms." Zarketh's combat instincts finally kicked in. "You're bluffing. If you had such a weapon, you would have used it already." "Would we?" Chen's smile faded. "Commander, the reason we didn't fire the moment you entered our system is because we're not monsters. We're not conquerors. We didn't want to vaporize 5 million Vorthak soldiers without giving them a chance to leave. She leaned back. But make no mistake, we absolutely will if you force us to. Zarketh's mind raced. Could she be telling the truth? The energy readings were real. The humans had developed FTL impossibly fast, and that calm in her voice, it wasn't the calm of fear. It was the calm of certainty. You have 5 minutes to begin your retreat, Admiral Chen said. After that, we'll assume hostile intent and respond accordingly. And Commander? She fixed him with those two small eyes. Tell the rest of the collective what happened here. Tell them that Earth isn't helpless. Tell them that we don't want war, but we've gotten very, very good at it. The transmission ended. Zarketh stood frozen, his 6 eyes staring at the empty holographic space. Around him, his crew waited for orders. The energy signatures pulsed on their sensors like 1,000 waiting predators. Helm, Zarketh said quietly, his pride crumbling into something he hadn't felt in decades. Doubt. Begin retreat procedures, sir, now. The Eternal Dominion and its fleet began their turn, engines flaring as they accelerated away from the small blue world. As they jumped to FTL, leaving humanity's system behind, Zarketh made a note in his log. Species 48 Alpha. Designation Humanity. Avoid extreme danger. Advancement rate anomalous. Recommended action observation only. Possible first contact in 500 cycles. Pending behavioral assessment. In Earth's command center, Admiral Chen let out a long breath and turned to her staff. All stations stand down from Alert 1, she ordered. And somebody get those physics students their grant money. Their quantum cloud simulation worked perfectly. Her XO raised an eyebrow. Admiral, we really were bluffing? Chen allowed herself a tired smile. Commander, the best weapon is the one you never have to use. Let's keep them guessing. She looked up at the stars. Besides, if we actually built that weapon, knowing us, we'd probably find a way to accidentally blow up Jupiter. Somewhere in the darkness of space, the Vorthak Armada fled into the night and humanity's legend grew a little bit larger.